There have been many Greek gods mentioned across thousands of stories in Greek mythology, from the Olympian gods all the way down to the many minor gods. The gods, much like the Greek goddesses of history, have very exaggerated personalities, and they are plagued with personal flaws and negative emotions despite their immortality and superhero-like powers. Being the god of festivity, pleasure, and wine, he was quite a popular deity, both among gods and mortals. He is the only god who had a mortal parent in the form of his mother Semele, his father being the mighty Zeus. He was brought up under the protection of mountain nymphs since Hera, Zeus's wife, was jealous of her husband's romantic adventures outside their marriage. Dionysus slowly built a cult of followers who would accompany him on his journeys around the world. He was far more interactive with his followers than the other gods, feasting, drinking, and living life to the full with them. He fell irrevocably in love with Ariadne, who was despicably abandoned by Theseus when she fell asleep on the island of Naxos. The Greeks celebrated many festivals in his honor, and it would not be an overstatement to say that he was far more popular than Zeus in many parts of ancient Greece. One of the most popular Titan gods, Prometheus, is held in high esteem among the great benefactors of mankind. His father Iapetus was also a Titan, but his mother was an Oceanid. Being the god of forethought, he foresaw the defeat of the Titans at the hands of the new Olympian gods and cleverly sided with the Olympians during the battle, thus escaping imprisonment at Tartarus along with the others. Prometheus was then assigned the task of molding mankind out of clay. Once he was done creating mankind, he became rather attached to them, always worried for their welfare. This led him to cross paths with the mighty Zeus, time and again, since he did not care so much about humans. So when Zeus took away fire from mankind, Prometheus stole it from the heavens and gave it back to the humans. Zeus punished him for his treachery by chaining him to a rock where an eagle would eat his liver every day. His liver regenerated every night, for he was immortal. Eventually, he was freed from his agony by the powerful demigod Hercules. When Zeus and his brothers drew straws to decide who got to be the lord of which realm, Poseidon drew the realm of the seas. In this way, he became the ruler of the seas and, along with his wife Amphitrite, led a group of lesser gods that included Triton and the Nereids. Being the lord of seas, he was widely worshipped and followed by seamen and voyagers. But his influence was even more far-reaching. Historians cite him as being a major deity in several ancient Greek cities. In terms of sheer power, he came second only to the mighty Zeus. As well as taming the power of the seas, he also carried a trident which could cause massive earthquakes with a single strike. At some point, he fell desperately for Demeter, who asked him to create the most unique creature if he was to win her. It is said he made a number of animals in his quest and finally created the first majestic horse. Following the advent of the age of the Olympian gods, Hades became the ruler of Underworld, a place where only the dead could enter, though there were quite a few exceptions to that. Naturally, ruling over such a gloomy and dismal realm seldom led to a good impression, making him less prominent in Greek mythology. However, many Greeks believed him to be the personification of death itself, which he was not, and paid him regular homage because of their superstition. But his evil image is a far cry from what he was actually like, for he was not as much of a bad guy as we have been led to believe. Contrary to common belief, it was not Hades who was responsible for the redemption of souls, but rather the three demigods Minos, Aiakos, and Rhadamanthys would carry out the judgment. He was also pretty fair in his dealings with Hercules, who approached him with the intention of capturing his three-headed dog. However, Hades hasn't been cut any slack for tricking his love interest Persephone into staying with him in the underworld. Zeus was the god of the whole known universe that the Olympians won from the Titans. After conquering the Titans, Zeus also won the draw with his brothers Hades and Poseidon, to see who would inherit the throne after their father Kronos, becoming the god of all skies and the acknowledged ruler of all remaining gods. Zeus was married to Hera, the queen of all gods, but he was also notorious for his romantic escapades outside his marriage. He was known as the father of the gods, and as you might have noticed by now, he fathered quite a few children from his many affairs. Being the personification of the nature of all things, he constructed the order that became the basis for the different realms. He also regulated time in the form of the changing seasons and alternating day and night. He ruled with absolute authority and command over his universe, but he also had a bad temper and was very easy to provoke. He would respond by hurling thunderbolts at those who displeased him.